Hello, Simmers, Codgers here, and we're going to have go through a Run 8 train simulation in just a few moments. Um, the other day I to and went and uh, took a check ride on the Depot Plus website, trying to uh, get permission to go on their Depot Plus servers, and I messed up. I just, there were so many things I did wrong during that session that uh, just really, I don't know, I think I really disappointed my, my uh, analyst, the guy that was testing me, and he thought I was going to go through it. I think he thought I was going to go through it just fine. And I thought I was going to do it just fine, but one thing led to another, and I don't know what it was. I just couldn't do it. Um, I think part of it was just having the pressure of having someone watching me doing what I was doing, and there were so many things that were going on at one time. I just could not keep them all straight. I'm not going to go and tell you everything that happened in that test ride. I don't think that would be fair to um, other other users or fair to the Depot Plus folks. But I think what I'm planning to do is have a number of Run 8 sessions uh, where we're just going to uh, take a train and go somewhere. The check ride is in the Mojave subdivision. All of the check rides will be in the Mojave subdivision. So uh, if you have Run 8 and you'd like to be a part of that program, then you already have the subdivision that they're going to use because that comes with the default installation of the Run 8 software. Um, and uh, at first, when you join the Depot Plus, they're going to limit the things that you can do on the server to just running manifest trains. And so, what you really need to know how to do in that check ride is how to manage a freight train running in the mountains, running on flat land, and so on. And some of the things that they say that they are looking for in that check ride is that you are able to uh, tell a dispatcher where you are at, and you're able to handle the train. You can stop the train within the amount of space that you're supposed to be able to stop the train. In other words, keep it from running into other trains. Uh, you are supposed to be able to start the train on flat ground and on an incline, and you're supposed to be able to stop it, of course, um, and so on. So a lot of things that you need to learn, uh, and it can be a little bit disconcerting at first. You need to know something about the signs. Uh, my checker said that I was probably a little bit too um concerned about the signs that they're basically, there's the green, yellow, and red signs. The basic signs are for proceed, approach, and stop. And then there are other signs that are in between those, and you need to know that. But he said I was worried too much about it. I don't know about that, and because I think you need to know in order to keep the train at the right speed or under the right, the limit. then you need to know what those signs mean. Otherwise things are going to happen real fast, and you're not going to be able to do it. So what this is, what we're going to do here is we're going to go in here and select a scenario. And the scenario that we're going to use is a scenario. I'm not sure exactly where I got this. Version 3 busy Barstow January 2018. A uh, that may be a world that I downloaded from the Depot Plus server. I'm not sure, but you should be able to find it somewhere uh, if you if you don't have that. And but we're going to go here, and if you don't have you don't have to use this one. You can do just about anything if you want to try to follow along with the suggestions I make. But I'm going to do this, and we're going to launch it. Listen to the pretty music while the scenery loads up. It looks like we have been taken to, what is this? Okay, I believe this is Barstow. He's loading up a bunch of trains all over the world. 213 trains it's trying to load up. And I think it's able to get most of those. So let's go around and look at what trains we have. And we're going to fly for this. And it really looks like it is coming down. We'll take a look at the date in just a moment. I don't know if I want to do a ride in the snow because that adds complications that I don't know is exactly what I want. All of these trains, I believe, are maybe AI, but I don't see anything. Where we're at, let's make sure. Let's see, here's some other consists. Let's go over there. And let's take a look. There is a train, the bar power pool. These are just some extra locomotives that can be used as needed. And then this is another set of power, and all of these are just power available for trains. And so I don't want to do that. So let's go. Where else can we go? That does confirm that we are in Barstow. And it doesn't really look like there's anything down here that interests us. So let's try something else. We'll go to a different location. Let's see, we have some switches that need to be corrected. But let's see. This is where we were at the Barstow yard. And let's look down here. I thought there were some, yeah, there's something right here that we could do. this way is where we want to go. And we'll go the fast way. Here's one. This train is the Bar SBD, the V Bar SBD train. It wants to go to San Bernardino. I can't say that right today. San Bernardino. And that is to the east of us, north and east, and toward the coastline. But there's a problem here. Here's a train, a car that has just been left right there on the access track, and I don't know why it's there. We could take that thing and move it out of the way, move it down here or somewhere to get rid of it, and that might be the best thing to do. Why don't we do that? I'll relinquish the train here, and we'll come down here to these locomotives right here. And let's use these. They're already coupled together, so we'll go ahead and use it like that. So let's start them. And we'll use the auto NUDP, auto EOT, auto circuit breakers, and auto brake to get the trains ready. Hit F5 to make sure that the handbrakes are both released. That is really noisy, isn't it? And I think what we need to do is go into the dispatcher and ask for, and I'm not sure how to do this, but we need to ask for permission to change these switches in here to get them around. We could just go ahead and do it and ignore the dispatcher altogether, but that's not playing nice. So let's go on and get in our car, be a little bit quieter in here, and go up here and see if we can do this from the dispatch menu. Well, one thing that should be done already is to engage auto all routes, and that allows all the AI trains to get lined out and ready to go. Now we're going to hit DS menu, and we'll tone the dispatcher. He's going to come back and ask us what we want, and we're going to request mainline authority. Unable to issue mainline authority. Okay, then how do we do this, Mr. Dispatcher? I don't know. So I guess we're just going to have to ignore him and do what we need to do on our own. So let's go ahead and go on out. And, well, the thing is, we need to do this from the dispatching menu, from the dispatching screen anyway, so we may as well do it from the engineer view. Dispatch. And we're in the bar power pool right now, so let's right click and then set that, and nobody said anything bad about it, so that's okay. And let's go ahead and set this one. We'll right click and set that, and that lines that out. So now we'll be able to push uh, that car out of the way. So let's go back into the locomotive and be on our way. Just 1 notch power should be enough, more than enough really. And my rail driver is not very kind to me sometimes. It likes to throw in an extra notch every now and then. We just need to get on this track, make sure that we're off the turn, and then we can stop. Put this back in idle, center our reverser, and then go back to the dispatch menu window. Now we can right click and switch that. Looks like we've got to wait a minute. Maybe it's we got to pull forward a little bit more, but it's not letting us change it. Let's pull forward a little bit more, I guess. In fact, let's go take a look at the end of the train. Yeah, we're still on the track. We need to pull forward a little bit more. So we'll go forward. And that should be plenty. Now we can go back to the dispatch menu and click, and that's just the way we want that. Now we're going to go in reverse to push our little boxcar out of the way. Slow it down a little bit. A little more. All right, and jump off. And set our air hose. And make sure the other end is closed. And it's not. Good thing we came down here. Now come down here and we're going to open up the angle cock. Let's see. It's already open on the boxcar. Open to partial. And the flow is already down so we can open all the way. And now, let's see, where do we want to go? We should go back to the engineer view. And we're just going to back up straight into that empty line. Until both the locomotive and the boxcar are on that line all by themselves. And I think, let's go back a little bit further, make sure we're off the switch. Come on, you can do it. I don't think my wheels are slipping. All right, that should be good enough for us. All right, let's hop out. And kill both of the engines. Make sure the handbrakes are applied. Everything that's got it applied, and then relinquish. And that's it for that train. But let's get back on. This consists, it's going to take us to San Bernadino. And we'll go ahead and start all the locomotives. Auto MUDP, auto end of train, auto circuit breakers, and auto air brake. Everything is running, and we'll turn off the handbrakes. Let's get in the train now. Now let's think a little bit about where, as well, take a look at our dispatch window. And the dispatch window is, okay, dispatch window, all the switches are set in the proper way now. So let's go in up to the dispatcher window and tone the dispatcher. Tell the dispatcher we're ready to go. Let's get out of here. Request signal. Auto DS 10-4, BNSF 7335, that's us. and he is going to give us the go-ahead. So let's take a look again at the dispatch screen. We've got to change this ourselves, I think. I don't know if he will change that for us or not, but we're going to change it ourselves so we can go ahead and go on up. We want to get up here where the first signal to the main line is at. And it's going to take a little while. Proceed on signal indication, he tells us. Let's turn the sanders on. We've got a lot of stuff back there that will not want to move. 3,300 tons. 3,324 pounds. And that's a lot of inertia to get over. And we're starting to move a little bit. We don't have any helpers here, no TPU units. Everything's on the front. We have to be careful not to pull too hard on those couplers or we'll break them. I think we'll get down here in a moment and we're going to have to stop at a red light because we've got some traffic in front of us that's not going to let us through. Get those wipers going. When we get here to the red light, then I'm going to go out and look at my map and show you the map that we're going to use to help us to take our bearings. And we'll also be using a grade map that will give us information about the grades that we'll have to negotiate going up and down to San Bernadino. I'm not going to record the entire trip. We'll get started here and we'll go over some things on our way, but we're going to cut out some things to make this video a little bit shorter. We'll have at least the start and the end, and try to have something in the middle of the trip to keep things interesting. But that's the way we'll handle that. Now that train is going to be in front of us for a while. I think we're going to want to be on the same track that it's on, the one that's going away from us right now. At least that's my guess. No, I'm pretty sure if he's on that track, he's going to San Bernadino. That's right. First use my dynamic brakes until I'm down below 10 miles an hour, and then I can start using the independent brakes here. And we can't go anywhere until we see a different color. So we're going to put it in idle and neutralize the reverser. And now while we're waiting for that light, let's take a look at the maps. Maps are on the Depot Plus server, and we're here at Barstow. So we'll start right here and look at the Barstow yard. And what we have done is to come out of the departure yard right here, and we've come up to right at this point, and we're waiting for this light to turn. That will give us access to main line 4, and we will go straight. We may go up to main line 3. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But we'll go down here and turn to the left here and go down on our way to the Cajon submap. Then when we get to the Cajon submap, unfortunately that is not a link. Let's go back to our maps again. And here is the Cajon submap. And we need to find where it goes to Barstow. And I believe it's right down here. Here we go. We're going to come here and take this route, and we'll just go from east to west, and we'll follow this map all the way along using the mile markers and other information that's available here to know where we're at each moment. This is going to be on my second monitor. I want to go to my simulator directory into the user guide, and we're going to go to find one of these maps. The canyon grade map may be all that we need. Let's take a look at that. And the canyon grade map here will take us all the way from Barstow to San Bernadino. And so this is the grade map that we want to use for this trip. And I'm going to go put this over on my second monitor. And with those two tools, we'll be ready to go as soon as we get a yellow. And I'm going to pause the video at this time so that you don't have to sit here waiting for that yellow light. Well, I just saw on the dispatch screen that Otto has put another train in front of us. This train has the line from where we're at on, and that's where we need to be. So we're going to have to wait for that. It's coming by us right now, and it doesn't look like it is going all that fast either, so it could be a while that I'm sitting here on it. Okay, we will pause the video again, and we'll be back as soon as we get that next light change. I want to show you what auto has done to us again. This is the train that just passed us that I mentioned a moment ago, the Z-Alt SBD. And this train has also been given permission to go down the same track right behind the Z-Alt SBD, the CSKLC. And so that's yet another train we're going to have to wait on before we get out of the yard. Okay, it looks like Otto has lined us out to come. No, that's another train he's letting out. No, that is us. He's lined us out to come out. That's coming out of the departure yard, the south departure yard. That's where we're at. And he's lined us out, but he hasn't given us a light yet. And there's another train sitting here waiting on us. And I'm not sure what Otto is doing. I think he's kind of confused right now. I toned him up and he said, "You'll come out when I tell you to come out." Okay, that's good. Just settle down, Otto. Let's give us a light so we can go. I don't think there's anything out there that's holding us up. Maybe there's still a train that is on the route. No, we should be able to come out this far at least. But he's holding us up. Let's see what's in front of us. The Z-Alt San Bernadino is sitting right there on track 2. And looks like I don't know what train. I'm missing the train that followed that Z-Alt. Which one it is? I don't know which one it is. It may not have gone this route. It may have gone to Mojave. That's a possibility. But why won't he give us a light? Okay, finally got the light. Finally got a clear. So let's get out of here. Let's see. Wrong order. Turn our Sanders on. Another notch. And we're moving. $31 so just barely cold enough for the snow. We're still 15 miles per hour until we get out of the yard. I'm going to use the distance counter here to let us know when we're out of the yard. locomotive now is on the main track. Start the counter. I've been told that the slow speed control is legal or acceptable to use on the Depot Plus server. However, I would encourage simmers to learn to use the throttle and the brakes to keep your speed. The speed control has a way of lulling you to sleep, and you stop paying attention to things the way you need to. And maybe you learn it with the throttle and the brakes first, and then after you have mastered that art, then start using the speed control to take some of the work away. So we got about 2,000 feet to go before we can up our speed. You can see the distance counting down here and also in the HUD. I'm not sure which HUD this is or what it's called, but this is about the third HUD in the sequence, and you get the distance counter up there in the upper right. You also get a miles per hour here. You get the reverser indication. You get the current time of day in the sim. You can see the main reservoir, the emergency reservoir, the brake pipe pressure, and this is the cubic feet per minute flow in the brake pipe. This is your throttle indicator, and this is your brake cylinder of the locomotive. You can also see the coupler stress in kilopounds, and I suppose that is the coupler attached to the main locomotive, and then a grade here. So most of the information you really want is on this HUD. I have rail drivers, so I've got it set up to show me the speed limit in the digital display. You can manage that by going into the rail driver setup page from the menu up here at the top. Go up here to controls, rail driver, and you can set it up here. What you want read out. I've got it set up for the speed limit. So now the distance is gone down to 0, and the speed limit has changed to 30 miles per hour. So we're going to give it a little more power and see if we can't get up to speed. We've got a little, well, we're at flat ground now, so we should be able to do this. Let me show you how to increase your speed. Every time you want to go up, not more than one notch at a time, and watch the amps as they go up. They'll ramp up real fast, get up to a maximum value, and then usually they start coming down. When they start coming down, or if they level off, then you can give it another notch. The purpose of that is not to overstress the knuckles so that you don't break a knuckle pulling the locomotive. and I just hit 2 there accidentally. I should not have done that, but the rail driver sometimes is not a perfect tool, and sometimes even if you're moving slow, it'll drop down too fast and give you 2 notches instead of 1. You can watch your accelerometer here, and that gives you a little indication of whether you've got too much power or too little. Just the right power, it should be oscillating between yellow and green, just like it is right now. So this is kind of a sweet spot right now for the conditions where we're at. I'm going to go up here because I missed the last signal, and we had a clear signal there. I should have seen that as we passed it, but sometimes you miss them. Now here is a tricky signal. It fooled me. Last time I was here, it looks like I've got a stop signal ahead of me. Even though I had it clear in the previous signal, it looks like I've got a stop signal. But these 2 signals are for the 2 tracks on the right. My signal is a little further down. What I do on the speed is I try to aim for a speed that is right below the speed limit, so that I don't get too close to the speed limit and go over. And I don't want to get too far below the speed limit either. I imagine an engineer has 2 jobs. One job is to keep it below the speed limit, and the other job is to get there as fast as you can. Check right at Depot Plus is also something of a class. They will try to teach you how to do things. You don't want to run, you don't want to end up having them teach you a lot of stuff while you're there, or you're not going to pass your check ride. But they take this as an opportunity to educate the people that want to go onto the server, and that's a good thing. For some of the things that they look for, if you err on the first attempt, but you are able to learn quickly and correct that during the check ride, and by the end of the check ride you're doing things right, you will pass the check ride and go on to the next step. I think I'm going to pause the video now. Let's take a look at where we're at on the map. We have, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll come down here and turn some tags on. The milepost tags, and that's all that we need is the milepost tags. I make sure I got that on. Now we do. And we're coming up to checkpoint Linwood. And on the map, here we are coming into from Barstow, and there's checkpoint Linwood, 6.7 miles on this track. We're coming up to Martinez at 52.5, and that puts us about 2.5 miles from the summit. I lived in the desert when I was a bit younger. I do not remember it snowing this much in the desert where I was at. Maybe that's a thing in California. All right, here's a solid yellow over red, and that is an approach signal.
DNSS detector milepost 52.5, main 2, ambient temperature 32 degrees.
Pulled the wrong direction on the power. Then I meant to back off, and I started giving it more. Milepost 53. Let's take a look at where we're at right now. Currently, we are right here around Martinez. We're coming up to the summit, which is at 55.6 miles. So just about 2-3 miles to get there. And we're going to be going down Main 2. And so this tells us what our speed is. At Main 2, from 56.3 to 66.2, that is somewhere around here, or right here, our speed limit will be 20 miles per hour because we are under 5,500 tons. So 20 miles per hour will be our speed on Main 2. see we have a speed reduction coming up in 2.4 miles to 20 miles per hour. We're a mile and a half away from the summit. Milepost 54. One thing you need to remember about the speed limits, especially in the Depot Plus server when you're playing there and in your check ride, that the speed limits are hard limits. It means you are to drive below, at or below those limits, not just a little bit above, but at or below those limits. There was a notch the throttle gave me that I didn't ask for. The hard driver throttle, not the Run 8 throttle. We're on a 0% grade, which means we're basically at the summit. The summit crossover is at 55.6, but I think for all intents and purposes, we're at the summit, and from here it's going to be going downhill. And it looks like we're going to have, I don't know what that is up there. I see two signs. We've got a clear sign there, but what is that flashing down below us? I don't know. But I don't think that's for us. Now it's a truck with flashing lights. Okay. I've been through this little part of the country a few times. I hadn't seen that truck sitting there before. I don't know if it's always there or if it just pulled up today. All right, and here is our 20-mile zone limit. And that means we're starting to go downhill. And I need to set my dynamic brakes, get ready for braking. Be okay for a little while until the train gets over that hump. But this train is going to want to take off pretty quick if we're not ready for it. I'm just going to let the train propel itself with the momentum it already has. I don't want to move up into the power zone. I want to be right here on the dynamic brakes when they're needed. See, the main 2 is splitting off from main 1. Main 1 is going a different direction that is a little bit longer than the direction we will be taking, and so it's not as steep. Main 2 is going to be going more direct, and it is going to shoot off like a rocket. Or that's what it's going to want to do. We're accelerating now. In 1 minute, we'll be 5 miles faster than we're going now, so I'm going to start braking. And B2 is probably too much. But let's let that settle out and see what it does. I know we're going to need more brake than that, and not very much longer from here. I'll let off a little bit. I believe that was from a different train. The detectors radio their messages, broadcast the messages with radio, and if you're close enough, you can hear them. They don't broadcast very far, but occasionally you'll hear the detectors going off for a different train than the one you're driving. The way that you tell is by the milepost that it specifies and the track that you're on. It'll specify the milepost and the track. And my intent is to use the dynamic brakes. About half of the dynamic brakes go up to maybe B5, B4, B5 before I start using the air brakes. Air brakes use a different mechanism for braking than the dynamic brakes do, and they burn up the brakes if you run them for too long. So it's best not to use them if the dynamic brakes are enough to get you to stop. But you don't want to use all the dynamic brakes either. You end up using all the dynamic brakes and then you turn on the air brakes. You may end up not having any way to stop the train. So bring the dynamic brakes up to about B5 here, and if that's not enough, we will apply some air brakes, not a lot, but maybe 10 pounds of pressure, and 6 or 10 pounds of pressure, something like that, and then we adjust the air brakes again. Use the dynamic brakes to adjust for fine adjustments of the speed. Let's give it a little bit of air brake. Notice the ER value goes down to 84 from 90. That means there's about 6 pounds of pressure now on the brakes, will be throughout the train. I might need some more because we're not slowing down much. 2.3, that's okay. That'll keep us below 20 if that stays steady. And we can come off the dynamic brake a little bit once it comes down. So here we have a whistle post. Sometimes I don't finesse that brake, the horn very well. It looks like we may have a sweet spot here already. The air brakes will stop the train pretty fast. with just a little bit of pressure. 6 pounds of pressure we put on the brakes in the area. We can bleed off the pressure in the locomotive. I've heard that's a good thing to do. Oh, look here, we are out of the snow. That's nice. I don't know when did that happen? Now watch the amps for the brakes. I just came off a little bit on the brakes, maybe a little bit more. It's now at 730, brought it down to 707, 686.
BNSF detector, milepost 58.6, main 2.
That's us. 686, down again, 600. Watching the accelerometer to see how quickly we are accelerating and how much time I have to make a correction. I'm going to need to increase the braking here in just a moment so that it doesn't go over 20, but it's only 17.8 now, so I've got a little bit of time to do that. You'll also need to learn how to communicate with the dispatcher on Depot Plus. That is something you want to do for realism as well as to communicate to other players what you're doing on the server. And for me, that's one of the hard things. See that I'm trying to increase.
Detector, milepost 58.6, main 2. No defects. Repeat, no defects. Total axle 172. Train speed 20 mph. Ambient temperature 33 degrees. Out.
I let it go a little bit over 20 then. Didn't mean to do that. But I had one of those glitches from the rail driver again, where when I pushed down to increase the amps went down. I pushed on the throttle. It should have increased the amps, but it decreased first. It is kind of frustrating. Well, I'm going to pause again until something interesting happens. So it'll be a while before I see you again, but you'll see me in just a moment. Okay, Simmers, we are about, looks like 6 miles from San Bernadino yard, and I'm going too fast here. Let the speed creep up on me. I'm gonna need some more air brake, I think. 10 pounds of air brake, that ought to slow us down. Our track speed now is 35 miles per hour, and I'm going much too fast. I am not exactly sure when we come into San Bernardino where I'm expected to park this. And I'm going to try to follow the instructions of Otto, see if he'll take me where I need to go. BNS, I'm guessing it's going to be the BNSF East B yard. So we'll see if it gets us there. Okay, we made it back down below our speed, and now we're going too far that way. I ought to say that obviously I am not an expert train driver, and you need to take any advice that I give you with a grain of salt. I think I can help some people, but you need to do your own research and study and make sure that whatever advice I give you is the right advice and that it actually helps you. I've been having trouble getting the sweet spot since we increased their speed from 20 to 30. I've been going up and down trying to get that just the right braking level to put us where we need to go. Part of the problem is with the rail driver, it is very hard to make fine adjustments. I'm going, okay. Sometimes a small movement of the throttle handle will make a large jump in amperage, and sometimes a small movement will make a small jump of amperage. So it's hard to know, it's hard to do it and make it just right. All right, we've got 2 yellows here, and that is advanced approach. Let's see what that gives us. Oh, no, yes, advanced approach medium. Approach medium, which is 40 miles per hour, I believe. and be prepared to diverge. Might be 30 miles an hour, I'm not sure. Why don't I look that up? Let's see. Get, here's what I want right here. Approach medium, 40 miles per hour. Reduced 15 in 3 miles. I'm guessing we'll get a diverging clear on our next signal. Snow picked up again once we got down into the valley. Milepost 80 puts us about 2 miles from the yard. And we've got a turn coming up that it's a 15 mile per hour turn. That's the reason for the mileage drop there that we see in the HUD. Go ahead and let the speed drop off a little bit. What am I seeing here coming up? Those are not signal lights, I don't think. Too many lights there to be signal lights. Milepost 81, I think our turn is at 81.3. No, that would be, I don't know, that would be, well, that has to be 81.3. So we need to start slowing down. baseline 81.3. And I've got a restricted red over yellow, restricted something.
UP detector milepost 486.8.
Diverging approach. That's in the diverging approach signal. So the diverging here and then approach means I can resume the track speed. The track speed is going to be 15 miles per hour anyway. And let it get away from me again.
UP detector milepost 486.8. No defects. No defects. Total axles 278. Train speed 28 mph. Ambient temperature 33 degrees. UP detector out.
Seventh Street at milepost 82. And we'll be diverging there again to take us into the yard. This time we have flashing red. That's restricted signal. Restricted means able to stop at half the distance that you can see. No more than 20 miles per hour. Even less in mountainous areas around curves where you can't see around the curve. Our speed limit here, nevertheless, is 15 miles per hour.